Welcome to Paranormal Latte Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. Sit back and relax with us. Grab yourself a really good drink. Spend an hour and let's delve into a world of chatter about the mysteries of the unexplained. Whether you are a skeptic or a believer makes no difference. It's not always in your imagination. Enjoy your day. Now that was good. Now that was good. Good day, everyone, and thanks again for joining me for yet another episode of Paranormal Latte Podcast. My name is Dr. Kelly Renee Schutz. I am the host and the producer of this show. Today we have with us Steven Spur. I have had him on a few of my shows in the past, and I decided, you know what, it's time to get him back and see what he's up to. Steve is what is called an evidential psychic medium, or just an evidential medium, which is someone who can talk with deceased loved ones, but not only just talk to them, offer proof that he is talking to them. But before we get into that interview, why don't we learn just a little bit more about my special friend and returning friend, Steve Spur. My guest is Steve Spur. Steve has more than 20 years plus experience as a psychic medium. He connects people all over the world with their loved ones in spirit to bring messages of love and hope. As an evidential medium, he gives you proof that they are alive and well on the other side. He shares names, how they died, birthdays, death days, anniversaries, pets, the cars they drove, what they did for a living, personal belongings, conversations, and stories that no one but family and friends will know. He is a remarkable man with great talent. Please welcome to the show, Steve Spur. Well, hello, Steve, and thank you so very much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, good to have you back. So, for those of you joining us for the very first time, I have had Steve on a couple different other shows of mine over the past couple years, and I am very excited to have him back because I think you're going to learn a little bit about I don't know if you want to call it mediumship or being a psychic or just general intuition, but I think you'll enjoy this one tonight. So, Steve, before we get started on the main interview, why don't you tell us just a little bit about your background?
Basically, I was just a normal West Texas cowboy. Worked at the racetracks across the United States, running thoroughbred horses for 20 years. And then one day I was helping my parents move from one town to another in Texas. Fell out of the attic. It was like 120 degrees out there. Hit my head on the concrete below. Was in the hospital for 3 days. Turned out I had a heat stroke, but I had a major concussion, didn't remember anything for 3 days, who I was, where I was, all that stuff. Basically, when I got out, about 3 or 4 weeks later, I started hearing music when there wasn't music there. I heard voices when there weren't people there. I was going like, holy hell, what's going on here? Okay. Because I was an atheist. Okay. Didn't believe in heaven, God. That's all bullshit. All right. So when this stuff starts happening to you, and it can happen to anybody, okay? Snap of the fingers. It don't matter. You don't have to fall on your head. It can just, you'll start developing, okay? You'll be laying in bed hearing an orchestra playing in the next room, and you're going like, is someone have their car out in front and they're blasting? But it can happen to you. And it took me probably, well, it was watching John Edward one night at 2:00 in the morning when he was on the best of one of the talk show people, and I'm going like, oh, that shit's happening to me. Oh, that's how I started hearing people, and I can see like, little ghosts standing behind people in the grocery store and things like that. I'm going like, maybe I'm a medium. Didn't want to be a medium. I just wanted to turn it off. I started going to different mediums in different circles and stuff like that, and just so I could turn it off. And they tell me, well, you need to know how to meditate to be able to turn it off. Okay, whatever. I'll do it. Okay, why not? What the hell? What can it hurt? And as I was doing that, you get to talk still to your spirit guides, to the elders on the other side, to dead people, when you're in that kind of trance and you're meditating and everything. And they talked me into saying, there's a reason. There's a reason for all this, if you were to see somebody stuck on the side of the road and their car overheating and everything, would you pull over and help them out? I said, sure. I'd pull over, see if I could do anything or give them a ride into town or whatever they needed. They go, why would you do that? And I said, well, it's the right thing to do. That's what I'd want someone to do for my family, And they go, exactly. And that's what a medium does. Mm-hmm. Whatever someone's deep in sorrow and just can't handle and life and everything, you're the one that touches what I call heaven, which is actually a different dimension. And you're helping people out of a crisis, Yep. When I was developing my mediumship, what most people would say, your house is being haunted, which I didn't believe in that. I still think it's bullshit, but spirit can move things in your house. Spirit can do things. One of the first couple of months, I was training with mediums, trying to make this stop. Sleeping in bed one night, 2:00 in the morning, all of a sudden, bam, I heard something, go. And I said, told my wife, turn on the light. I don't want to get out of bed on mine. I don't know what the hell's dropped. Mm-hmm. And look down. The John Edward book that I was reading had slid off the side of my stand and landed in the middle of the room with a bang. And she goes, what in the heck? Why would that happen? I said, well, I kind of asked my spirit guides to prove if they were really real. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then they did that. So a couple of weeks later, I'm asking my guides, if this is legit, I need another sign. Midnight again, I hear a crash in the bathroom, go in there, one of the light bulbs, on like the Hollywood lights up there, the lights are already off, but the light bulb exploded. Mm-hmm. Every single little shred of glass landed in the sink, nowhere else. And my wife said, oh my God, you didn't ask for another sign, did you? I said, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Moving things around in the house that I knew, things up on the mantle that I would turn the way I wanted it, and all of a sudden I'd come back one night and it'd be turning and going like, did you touch that candle holder? I had this just right. And things in the room just trying to prove their point. Hey, it's not spooky. It's normal for them. They can do anything, and so I started changing my prove it to me to show me blue jays, show me blue jay feathers, because those are kind of hard to find. I probably got 100 of them now. Went to the bookstore one time, picked up a book, opened it up. There's a blue jay feather in there. Oh, I guess I'm buying this one. Okay. Went to the other side, a freaking mediumship book, literally fell out of the bookshelf on my feet, So now I'm getting used to these occurrences, of them proving who they are and things happening. The lights blinking in the house. Hey, we love you too, but we're right in the middle of this really cool movie. Okay, please, you're making the dogs bark and stuff like that. We'll love you, but come back later. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff. But when that happens to normal people that hadn't been training for mediumship and stuff, they're going like, my house is haunted. Oh my God, there's negative energy here. Now they're just trying to make the presence known. They're trying to get you to know, hey, there's something else out there,
Yeah.
And there's good. I don't believe in bad hauntings and people stuck in purgatory or stuck here in the deal. Once you get to know, someone asked me, how do you know all this stuff, Steve? I said, so I've done about 5,000 readings for people. I said, I ask your loved ones, your dead loved ones, hey, what's heaven like? Hey, is this possible? And they answer me and I go, oh, like people always ask, how long am I going to live? When am I going to die?
Yeah.
And when they come back and say, you're not going to die 1 second before your time. Okay. Just like you were born the exact second that you were supposed to be born. Okay. And those two goalposts are set in stone. Okay. And I think probably at least a third of our life is predestined. How you got to pick your parents that you wanted to be born to, good, bad, or ugly. Okay. You got to meet your soulmates exactly when you were supposed to meet them. And you were going to have, critical things like me falling out of the attic at certain times, in our lives. But the rest of the time, we have free will. Yeah. That's where we screw up. That screws up your karma, okay? Because we came down here to learn and experience everything there is to experience. Hopefully not everything in one lifetime, okay? Because you get the opportunity. I believe in reincarnation. You get to, do that over and over again. We want to experience everything that's been experienced in mankind so we can kind of be one with God, okay? Yeah. And so it's free will, though, that screws us up, and we came down here to learn unconditional love, forgiveness, patience. I'm going like, oh, screw me. Okay. I'm not going to get that in this lifetime, baby. Give me another dozen lifetimes and make it a little bit easier. Okay. Because y'all setting the bar really high for someone like me. Okay. I mean, I'm just happy. Hey, I hadn't killed anybody in this life so far. Okay. I don't know what my past lives did, but knowing what I do now, no matter how bad a hand you're dealt, play it to the very end. Okay. I don't care if you're getting beat in a football game 55-0. Keep on playing your hardest. Keep on doing your best. Okay. Because you're being judged. You're going to get to judge your own hand. When you die, God and Jesus and Buddha, they don't judge you. You're your angelic self on the other side, and you're going back, oh, didn't do so bad. I got a C+. I'll give that lifetime a C+. I know I was aiming for an A every time, but shit, I passed. I passed that class. I passed that life. Okay, what do you got for me next life? Well, let's go. What are you coming up with? And that's what it is. Do the best you can.
Yeah, no, you bring up some very good points, and I'm going to attack some of these points here in a couple seconds here. I want to go back way to the beginning. You said something that was very interesting to me because it has happened. It has happened to me, and it happened to me when my husband's mother passed away. We had just left her for a few hours. We were driving to another state. We obviously made a point to see her, and then we left town. The confusion with most people, they don't know when someone's going to pass away, so you don't know how long to stay, but we had an obligation, so we had to leave. And it just so happens that I did have an incident, which I wrote about in one of my books, by the way, one of my first books. I heard music that was really weird. I went out to the car. We were in Tennessee. We made it to Tennessee. Well, she passed halfway there, and then I was trying to calm my husband down, and he was distraught. And we made it to Tennessee. We were in our hotel room. I went out to the car, and all of a sudden, my ears were just like blasting out, like pinchy. I heard the song Silent Night, and she did not pass in a winter month time when that would have been played, nor would have been rehearsed. Yep. And so I'm out there doing this because I was actually hurting, and I was getting something in the car, and I'm like, God, who is playing this music now, and why does it hurt my ear so much? Anyway, I went back into the hotel room, and I said to my husband, who was of course still distraught, and I felt a little dizzy, and I felt a little out of it and everything, and I said, I heard the weirdest thing outside. Something or someone was playing Silent Night. How crazy. And he looked up at me and he stopped, he was emotional, and he goes, that was my mother's favorite song. And I said, go outside right now. Go outside right now and see if they're still playing that song, Nope, didn't hear a thing. It was silent. But I was dizzy, and I got into the shower, and I was still kind of delirious and everything. And so because I knew I was the more of the sensitive one, I think that's why I was approached perhaps by her basically saying, I made it. I'm okay. I'm everything's fine. Don't worry about me, blah, blah, blah. So that was one of the first things you brought up that I thought was very interesting. The next thing that you brought up, which I found kind of interesting too, was it can happen pretty much at any time. Yeah, some people wake up and they have these dreams that might be clues to something that's either going to happen, has happened, or whatever, or is playing out something. There's all kinds of scenarios here. But the one thing you brought up, though, when I was having a lot of activity and I've haunted about 4 out of 5 of my homes to this point, including my brand new home. It's not haunted, but let's just say I've had hauntings in here. My question to you would be this: how do you know it's not a poltergeist activity based on
or negative?
Yeah, your own energy, though, because people for the longest time were trying to tell me I was the one creating all of this stuff. And I said, I don't think so. I said, just based on some of these things that were happening, I don't think so. How do you differentiate between, it's you versus it's something? Do you know what I'm saying?
So I'll give the haunted house people, if there's a teenager in the house that's going through hormones and stuff like that, I really do think that their energy can affect different blink lights or do different things like that. The good news is before we come down here, we sign up with a spirit guide that protects us, and we also have a guardian angel. And I've tested mine. Mine looks like a big, greasy-haired WWE wrestler, muscles everywhere, that have busted his ass saving my life so many times in car accidents and truck accidents and jackpots here and there. I'm going like, I owe him a beer. The first second I die, I'm going like, where's my guardian angel? I got to buy him a beer right now. Okay. They wouldn't let anything happen to you before your death time is I don't care if you get shot, bullets going through past your head, at that time, they're going to go, okay, it's time. It's over. But you also have a spirit guide. Okay. And you signed up for all these things, your soul contract. What do you want to experience in this life? They're not going to have anything evil happen to you on your watch. Now, there's loving people over there that are going to raise the hair on the back of your neck and going like, why the hell did you show me that? What? They're trying to, you're not getting the other subtle references that they're bringing up. You didn't pick up that blue jay feather. Yeah. You saw the sidewalk. You didn't pick up that penny that has the birth date of your mother or father on there, okay, or grandfather or whatever. You didn't hear that song over and over, and you didn't claim it. I wonder if that, what are the odds of that playing 27 times in a row? I wonder what's up with that, okay? So we got to go to stage 2 now. We're going to DEFCON 2, all right? We're gonna make the rocking chair rock, or we're gonna make the fan on the ceiling spin when there's no electricity on. Okay, we're gonna turn the TV on while they're sleeping, and just what's going on? Okay, and it's just it may mean nothing except pay the hell attention. Something's coming up important in your life. Okay, that's all it is. Nothing else. You're not gonna die. Your pets aren't going to die. Your best friend's not going to die. But pay attention to something that's going to happen in the universe, or something's going to happen. What's the nightly news or something, or the local news? Something's going to happen that's going to affect your life some way. So we're just kind of giving you a heads up. Hey, Kelly, heads up. This is, and then you find out, oh man, something, good thing, I called so-and-so the other day, or what we would consider coincidences. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in chance or coincidence. No. Everything happens for a reason. Now, I don't know why. I won't know till I'm dead and going, hey, can you tell me back 29 years ago why the hell this happened to me? And it's in the Akashic records. Oh, hindsight 2020. I see. It wasn't my lesson. It was for someone else that I was helping at the time, or I was getting someone into position for them to learn a life lesson. Got it. Sometimes people always think they're the star of their own show. We might just be a spoke in the wheel. You've got all these, your soulmates, your best friends, your family members that are all spokes of this wheel, and you might just be the guest host in the show once in a while. You're not the star. Don't ever think that you're the star. Don't ever let your head get that big, okay? I'm just a tiny little worker ant trying to keep everything moving slowly, okay? And slowly but surely. And if you can do that, take your ego out of it. Ego screws us so much. Everything that's bad happened in your life, you could almost say your ego had something to do with that. Okay? Ending friendships, doing stupid shit. That was my ego made me do that. Why did I listen to them? So, and also when you're dreaming, a visitation dream, your grandmother could come through, give you some great information, a great idea. Knowing what I do now, I don't know if I've ever had an original thought in my life. Your spirit guides, your angels, your loved ones, they put the ideas in our head, and my ego takes credit for it. Oh, what a great idea. Till you start getting ideas that are going like, whoa, that's so far above my pay grade. I don't even know about shit like that. I wonder who that idea is for. Is it going to be for my daughters, for my granddaughters? Is it going to be for somebody that I meet to pass on so they can invent the light bulb or whatever? I don't know. So don't ever think that, don't ever get so big that you think that you're the star of the show, You've got all these. You're not important than anybody else in the world. I can guarantee it. That's the way. If you're a religious person, that's the way they all see it too. You're just another worker ant.
So you bring up a couple good points here. First of all, I don't believe there's any coincidences either. Things happen. People can call it cause and effect. Okay, fine, cause and effect. I'll go with that one only so far. But the thing is that I do believe, and there's more people. You'd be surprised. There's more people that when I'm associating with them, that the very first thing that comes out of their mouth isn't, like that. It's like, well, that was no coincidence. I hear that more often now than I hear, like, let's take a look at this from more of a logical standpoint, So that's very interesting. The other thing I was going to ask you about is we're going to talk a little bit about our ancestors here, because Steve gave me a reading a while back, and he brought up some things about my ancestors. And of course, Steve, I'll have to have another reading with you, because I didn't write it down because I thought I was going to remember it. And guess what? Memory, my age, guess it.
I sent you a recording of it.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look back, but okay. We'll probably have another reading, because I think I'm probably going to delve into this. But let's talk a little bit about the age-old question of the ancestors, and follow me for a moment and let's see what you think about this. So, okay. So our ancestors, they come over here on the boat. They live for whatever period of time. They go through hard times. Many of our ancestors went through very hard times, and we think we have it bad. They had it really bad. But the question is when they die, I don't really know if they evolve so much in their thinking, like we are introduced to new technologies and different things that are going on in our lives. They probably didn't have that per se, or a new technology to them was something completely primitive to us now, and that might have been new to them. And then you talk about how they think. Thinking back then, we have a big social network now. Look at what we can do. We can talk to people on the same day, in a different country, right then and there, instant talking. But them, they had to write a letter or do this or that or whatever. So I'm getting back to the thing about their thinking and their advice and their questioning and their observations and their transformations, because I often wondered how much of their thinking is relevant to what we are experiencing in our life right now, or if it's more...
All the same stuff. Think about all the emotions, the time that you were lied to, and it just devastated you. A breakup of a boyfriend or of a spouse or something like that. Oh my God, how you just had a meltdown. The good, the bad, and the ugly, you're still learning that back in caveman times. The jealousy, the pain and suffering, helping other people, get through there. They said, oh, these people had to be intelligent, the cavemen, because they actually tried to heal a broken leg, when it healed, and there's no way they could have done that if they hadn't put a splint on it and carried them from place to place with them. So everything you learn, basically we're learning the same stuff, whether you were born in the 1800s or the 2000s. Okay. Now, this might blow your mind. I believe there are so many other dimensions to this one that we can reincarnate to, okay? And I'm not so certain that after this life, me or you couldn't go back to the Civil War if we wanted to and live a life. Because there's something we didn't pick up, or there's something that we needed to fix, in the Matrix. Or maybe we're going to another planet. Or maybe we're an alien on another planet in the next life. It's just up to what we need for our soul right now. Your soul is always maturing, okay? We want to be Christ-like. We want to be Buddha-like. We want to be where nothing bothers us. Everything's peaceful, forgiving everybody, Oh, my God. How many more thousand lifetimes is that going to take me to be Christ-like, It's just not in my DNA. We come down here from the other side that I call heaven, just to make it easy, because I believe it's heaven, because there's nothing, you can't feel pain. There's no suffering. There are no, it's like the people in heaven are looking down on me right now, and they're going like, oh, that had to freaking hurt. But he learned a valuable lesson. Okay, good for Steve. Yeah, he went to another little plateau on that, but God, that had to hurt like a son of a bitch. So all of our loved ones that we pick to reincarnate to, it's called a soul group. 25 to 30 of those people, okay? You come up with a life plan, which is basically a Hollywood script. You're going to be the all-star running back on the football team. You're going to be the nurse in this one. You're going to be the mother with 10 kids, and you're all choosing these roles, either male or feminine, or maybe you're going to be, something else. All in this deal, you've already picked out the script. Things are going to happen regardless, just because of time and the stuff that we say. Why did that happen to me? Why did that? Because it was supposed to, and they're pulling the strings on the other side. Of that 25 to 30 people, maybe you met somebody for 2 months you thought was going to be your best friend, and you have everything in common with them. And that guy got you your job. Okay. And then all of a sudden they moved and you didn't have any other connection to them. Well, they were in one of the adjacent soul groups that y'all always reincarnate to. That was your favorite high school teacher that was in one of these groups, or was your best friend in third grade that gave you confidence and stuff like that. So it's just so incarnate. There's no detail too small. Okay, when you had the fly swatter and you killed that fly, there was a reason for it, believe me. Okay, someone's writing it down right now in the Akashic records in heaven. Okay, he killed the fly at this time, at this second, and everything. And then there's a spirit guide on the other side, a beginning spirit guide that was going like, oh shit, I was supposed to take care of that fly for another 2 weeks before he died. Oh hell, how am I ever going to become a good spirit guide if I can't even freaking keep a house fly alive? Okay, how am I going to work up to a bird or a mouse, from that, or a worm, So everything has consequences, and everything and it's a finely woven fabric. Okay, so the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, we wish we're going to win the lotto. We wish we can wish we have dreams. Well, that keeps us moving forward. Those dreams and the things that we want. Okay, there's a reason for that. Even though we don't hit maybe 90% of those dreams. Okay, you met the soulmate you're supposed to live. You have multiple soulmates in that 25 to 30 people. Ex-husband, ex-wife, affair, different people, then mom, dad, maybe grandparents, your favorite teachers, your, different people in your lives. A lot of the people in your soul group hadn't even incarnated into this life. Some of the people in your soul group, your grandparents that you love unbelievably, they're already starting to reincarnate and making plans, and they might be your grandparents again, or you might pick them to be your brother or sister or whatever like that. So it's just so complicated and hard to explain unless you're talking to 5,000 different souls on the other side. Don't worry about it, Steve. You're okay. When am I going to die? Don't worry about it, Steve. You're going to die at the right time. Hey, is so-and-so, I want them to be happy and hey, Steve, it's out of your hands. Don't worry about it. We've got this. We've got this. Don't worry about a damn thing. We've got it. And that is so hard to do. That is so hard to do. And they're always saying, hey, Steve, get off the couch. We got to go do something to make something happen. Okay? Steve, when am I going to find my soulmate? You got to get out of the apartment, get off your couch, and go run into somebody. Go to the supermarket. Go to a food cooking class. Go to a friends group or a cocktail party or something. But you got to get the ball rolling. They can only do so much. Okay.
Yeah, it's. I think that's patience. I don't have any patience. I mean, I need it right now, or it's not going to be good enough. I don't know. I think it's because we live in, well, not for everybody.
Fast times.
Yeah, we do. And there are some, when I travel and I'm in places where people move a little bit more slowly and they think a little bit more slowly and they kind of are calculated like that, it drives me absolutely nuts, because it's like, get a move on, go a little faster. Can't you think at a higher level, or something? What is a higher level? Define higher level. Maybe they feel like they're already at their higher level. Then you got the box people, the ones that don't ever want to go outside of their box. That's right. We're going to stay in here and we're going to move like this because I'm too afraid to go out here, or I have no interest to go out there. So it's, it's one or the other. And I've known a lot of people in
and we're learning not to judge people now.
Yeah.
That's something we signed up for. Screw me.
Yeah.
Don't be judgmental. Jesus wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that judgment, I can see it too. Even in what I do, the most dreaded question ever since I started podcasting like this and becoming known is when people say to me or my husband, "What do you do?" And they are very judgmental. Believe me, you can see it, you can feel it, you can sense it. I mean, I could go on for days about that. So I've been prepping my husband on what he could probably say to people to give them
do not offend the masses.
Yes.
I have relatives that are saying, I'm going to hell.
I know.
Okay? And I'm going like, well, that's okay, because I got a lot of friends there if there was a hell.
Yeah, I know.
And there is no hell, or there is no purgatory. Sorry if your religion believes in that. Ain't going to happen.
But you just hit the key word. For those that have gone through a real rigorous and or not rigorous religion program, and I did when I was younger. I am Lutheran. My husband's Catholic. He's diehard. He is diehard Catholic, but he has had plenty of experiences now along with me where he cannot deny that he can't explain them. And so the thing is for those that are highly religious, they don't want you to go you do not cross that line, you don't touch it.
They're at the crossroads.
Yep. And so
and I ask those people, do you need religion to keep you from killing another person?
Yeah.
Or to keep you from stealing from another person?
Yeah.
Or to keep you going down the 10 commandments? Do you really need all those commandments? Did you need to know that?
Yeah.
Before? Do not commit adultery. Was that something that you needed help remembering?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise it's just a crutch for you.
Yep. Yeah.
And maybe back in the old days when people need to be controlled so they didn't kill their neighbors and stuff like that, they needed a religion. I don't think most of the majority of the people today need a religion, but if that's okay. There is a God. There was a Jesus. There was a Buddha. It's okay. Well, how does that relate to you now? Are you loving your neighbor like you love yourself? Doubt it. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you trying to help people, the homeless, the poor, the people trying to immigrate and get a better life for themselves? Or are you going, screw them, I'm just worried about myself and my own family right now? Okay, we got a ways to go. There's going to be life lessons, baby. Hold on, you picked the big roller coaster of this life.
Oh yeah. And people are different in different parts. I used to think when I started out in my young 20s that I could live probably anywhere because I felt I was open enough and accepting enough of other people's differences to be able to live just about anywhere. As I began to move and travel and live in places due to job and career situations, I came to understand that it might not have been me that wasn't trying to be open enough, but rather where I was at other people who may not have developed the aspect of wanting to be open to other people coming in.
You are a lesson for other people.
Yeah,
I was a lesson for other people.
Not only a life lesson, I was a target for other people.
Yeah. How's she going to handle this?
Yeah.
So I believe there's levels in heaven. Okay, they don't have all the child molesters and the Hitlers and stuff like that in the kindergarten class. Okay, they're with other murderers and tell you to learn that's not right. That's not good. Okay, murdering people and that is not good. Okay, they're on the bottom level, and then you've got the levels that Christ and Buddha and all the archangels, all that are up there. Yep. We're in between that. We're trying to evolve our soul to be one with God. We want to be godlike. We want to experience everything in the world and go like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. What a very interesting deal. Most of the people in your soul group, you're at the same level. And if you're listening to this podcast, I can guarantee you're probably at level 4 or 5, and there's probably like 11 levels. Okay. Right. So you're above thinking in your thinking than the common man. Okay. Right. You're yards above them. So that your whole soul group, though, now your conscience, don't how the Marines or the Army says, no man left behind. No man left behind. You all want your whole soul group to learn your life lessons so we can evolve and go to the next level. It's going to be harder. Those people that their family members are murdered, their house is burned down, they've lost everything in their life, except their sense of humor, maybe. Yeah. They're on a higher level than me. Okay? They're dealing with things that normal people don't deal with. Having what we consider handicaps, coming in and having different things they have to deal with that you wouldn't have thought that you're going to deal with in a million years. Yeah. They signed up for that to learn, and you're not going to know. I can't even think at that level why I would want to put myself in that position and what kind of life lessons I could learn. Yeah. But believe me, they're on a higher level. And if you're going through crap like that right now, you're an old soul. Okay. You signed up for this bullshit, believe me or not, but it's to learn different, higher lessons than what I'm learning right now. Okay. And then you have a soul group that hopefully they're going to take you by the shoulder and say, hey, we can get through this shit. We can make it. When you're on that ship that's upside down in the Poseidon adventure, hopefully your soul group's going to be one of those 2 groups that gets rescued. Okay. And you get to go to the higher level. So it's regardless, whatever level you're on, it's going to be a difficult life. Nobody gets an easy life. Okay. Nobody gets a pass. And I always used to think, if I really do good in this life, maybe the next lifetime I'll be a millionaire. I'll be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and will win the Super Bowl. And, I will have my girlfriends and my wife will be just so beautiful. My children will be beautiful and smart. And then now I'm going, I hope in my next lifetime I'm a Buddhist monk contemplating life on so many levels, and I just hope for a half bowl of rice every day, and I'm just going to meditate the rest of the time and do good deeds. That's what we should be wishing for, okay? Instead of all the fame and the glory, that's not the life I'm picking next time. Okay?
Yeah. Well, and of course, as well as I do that even those individuals have their struggles. Even from the average person's perception, they might think, "Oh, they've got it all. They've got this, that." Well, think about for a moment what they really have. We have a mansion. Yeah, they also have to pay for that mansion too. That's expensive. Where they have to live.
Out of money to afford that mansion.
Exactly. And there, when we get into hard times, guess who's the first person selling their mansion and moving to some dire place in the woods of Montana or wherever, someplace more desolate where they have more peace? Okay, think about being that Hollywood person. I can only vouch just a little bit on how they might feel, because when I was in a smaller town being a college professor, I knew all my students, and I couldn't go anywhere in that town without running into one of my students. And I never had any privacy. I was just completely bombarded, and I kept making comments to my husband. I really think I want to go back to a time when I'm not so known, where I can have more of my privacy. Think about all these Hollywood people. They're constantly
Can't go anywhere.
Nowhere. That's because they're recognized. But so think about the next time you think about wishing and wanting and being and all that stuff. And some people are like, well, it'd be nice. Well, what's so nice about it? Think about being happy and figuring out what makes you happy in the interim. I want to ask you a question regarding...
Be careful what you wish for.
Yes, because, well, let's talk about manifestation. Let's talk about that, because the thing is I do seem to manifest, though, a lot of things that I put out there in a positive way, even for myself. They don't always come at the immediate time, but they do come at some time, and I'm like, God, I wish for that when I was...
Okay, but I think that's your intuition. I think some of this stuff's already in your... I think our higher self, part of our soul is in heaven right now.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, I got to give him a heads up. I'm going to show him this dream or this idea, and I want Kelly to manifest that. I want her to put that as a goal. I want her to put that on her bucket list. I want her to do that because she's supposed to experience it anyway. It's going to happen regardless, but she needs to believe in this manifestation. And then that's going to help. And then that's going to train her to do other things, and she's going to start thinking out of the box. How can I help mankind? That's what I'm thinking. My granddaughter is just so unconditional loving to everybody and everything like that. I'm going like, oh my God, she's the most Christ-like person, and she's super religious too. Maybe she's going to find a cure for cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe she's going to do something real big, because the sky's the limit. Okay. But where did that spark come from? Okay. I think it's your higher self, your spirit guides, your angels. Kelly, here, think about this. You can help so many more people if you'll come up with your own podcast. Okay. You're going to help so many people start thinking outside the box. It's going to take them on new adventures, on new things. Okay. Stuff that we're not even aware about till after we die, and going like, oh, what an interesting coincidence. That person I met just for 10 seconds in the grocery line, but she heard my podcast, and now she's thinking and she's teaching and she's doing all these other things just because I sparked an interest in her. So we're all connected. We're all interconnected. The world, I don't know how many billion people there are in it. We're all interconnected. What the 6 degrees of separation? Oh, I believe in that completely. Okay, believe it 100%. People that you ran into and helped out, or they helped you out, that you never see again, but they made a difference in your life for some reason. Maybe they invented a drug that you're taking now that's making your life easier. And just those little subtle deals, it's really eye-opening. Okay. Because I tell you, I had a little bitty pea brain, till this happened to me. I was bigoted, I was prejudiced, I was against everything, and now I'm trying new shit in restaurants. Yeah, give me a little of that. Let's try it. Why the hell not? I'll read this book, or I'll read this article. Don't know a damn thing about it. I'm trying to expand your brain pan. You know, just say, oh, what if this could happen? You know, and that's what you got to do. But you still got to pay it forward, man. That's the last, you know, the bottom line is you got to pay it. Go help somebody. Do something. Donate $1 to buy a Girl Scout cookie or whatever. Go do something to help somebody. Give somebody praise. You know, it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be, hey, I think you can do anything. I love you. You're loved. Maybe that's what, just hearing that keeps them from committing suicide the next day. You're loved. Hey, you're doing great. You're going to get back on the train track and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. You know, give them some positive information, but keep paying it forward, because I guarantee, not to be selfish or whatever, it's going to help you. It's going to help everybody that you do. And the whole goal is, let's keep moving up. Let's evolve. Let's evolve this till the whole world is evolved. This is Earth school. This is one of the hardest environments there's other Earths and other planetary alignments. We could go to a whole lot easier places where everybody's smart and everybody loves everybody, and we could have done that. We could have picked that card, but we picked this planet, because it's so freaking hard, and we're going to learn our life lessons so much faster, because there's so much bad shit is going to happen to us here. Okay. Otherwise, we could have picked those other planets where, we're just taking baby steps to evolve our souls. Okay. And it's infinite. The universe is infinite. There's no accidents. Everything happened for a reason. And it would just, if we knew the truth, it would blow all of our minds. Okay. We can't even, maybe Einstein or Tesla could think at that evolved state, of really comprehend what is possible, and that's what we're all shooting for, though, believe it or not.
I think a lot of people are, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that a lot of us are not aware of. But whether it's
nobody's aware of. Yeah.
Right. Whether it's good or bad.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Which a lot of people don't probably even realize there's probably some bad experimentation happening out there that we don't, we don't want to get in, we don't want to believe it's happening, but believe it's happening, okay? And it's kind of an interesting thing all around, but very, very interesting. And yes, I agree with you about paying it forward. I think that when people that you're surrounded by have, I don't know what it is, I don't want to call it selfishness or closed off minds or whatever. It's kind of like, fine, pay it forward in whatever way you can, if they would even do that. But there's a lot of selfish people out there that it should be all coming to me, and me.
I think we're all selfish, and we're all at any given time, but I tell people, you don't got to believe a single damn thing I say, but just for the practice, maybe every one of these souls that I'm doing readings for, I had a connection back in time, someone for that I'm making up for. Okay. So when I leave the door open for that little old grandma going into the grocery store and I'm holding it for her, maybe that earns me 1,000 karma points. While if Bill Gates donates, $50 million to a charity, that's only like 10 points for him. Okay.
Exactly.
And I want my Game Boy to be, hitting up points by the thousands. So every little thing you do has consequences. Let's make it happen for the good,
Yeah, I agree. So we'll have to have you back again at some point, probably later next year. At the point this is airing, I would say that we have a pretty good start to our year. And so, Steve,
think about it.
Yeah, tell everybody how they can go about and have that book that we talked about earlier. First, let's talk with the book. Put the book up. Steve has a book out. Is that on Amazon?
Unforeseen, the near-death awakening of a skeptical cowboy psychic.
Cool.
It's like $10.
No, okay? It's cool. It's wonderful.
If I learn something, I don't, all the books that I read, if I just learn a little bit, just a little, it was worth reading.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 10 years from now, I'll go like, didn't I read something about that in the book? Whoa, like that. So that's where you can get a hold. That's on Amazon. You can get a hold of me at stevespur.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I got 2 things on Facebook. Just look up Steve Spur. You know, I'll be the only one on there, and look at the crap that I write about. Okay?
Well, the thing is, if they want a reading with you, would they go to your website, and then do you have a contact or a calendar?
Yeah, contact. It tells everything, how I work as a medium. You know, there's a million. When John Edward came out, he opened the door for mediums to come out of the closet. Okay. Everyone has different styles. I like to be evidential. I want to prove to you that it really is your loved ones talking to you, because they're going to know stuff that only you know. Okay. When my grandfather came out to me the first time I had a reading, both grandfathers, the medium told me evidential stuff, what their names were, what they did for a living, where I worked at the time, and what was going on at work. I'm going like, well, screw me. This stuff's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
And that's the kind of medium I am. First, I want to prove there's life after death. Okay. And nothing is an accident. And it's so, you know, the first half of the reading is going to be a family reunion. Hey, remember when Uncle Bill stood up in the boat and hooked on a fish, and he fell out of the water, and there was a minnow in his pocket when he came out, and we were laughing so hard, you know, milk was coming out of our noses, and you know, that kind of stuff. And then if you have any questions at the end, anything about your business life, what should I do about, or relationships, or what should I do about, you know, my mother doing, should I put her in a nursing home or not? You know, any of those little details. Worst case scenario, they can just say, I can't tell you that. You're going to learn that. Okay.
Yeah. And he's right. There are some things that he probably, and a lot, probably will not, even if they know, probably
they're not allowed to tell us.
They're not allowed, yes.
It's going to be a nice surprise for some people. Okay. It's going to be a nightmare for others.
Exactly. Right? That's exactly right.
The point is, you signed up for it.
Yeah.
So then, when you believe in life after death, which I was an atheist and a non-believer and everything, oh shit, they can see everything that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
My loved ones on the other side. Oh, you know, forget the 10 Commandments. I'm going to do it just so I don't embarrass them. You know, I want my grandma to say, oh yeah, that's my grandson down there. He's doing good for people. You know, that's what it's about. And then when I'm up there, I want my grandchildren to do the same thing. You know, keep doing good, you know, and be proud. I want to make somebody proud. I want to make those ag teachers that I had in high school proud. I want to, you know, make my swim coaches and my boxing coaches proud. Wow, see there, I did help a little bit in his character. I just played a little part in that recipe that made Steve Spur a better person, and that's what it's all about. So now you're going to be putting seeds in, and you're going to be helping people out just a little bit. You don't gotta give them the whole secret to life. Just little things, and it's going to make a difference in your life.
Yeah, and it's very true. Think about that as our final words of this program today. Make a difference, not only in yours, but someone else's life. Steve, well, again, we'll have you back on behalf of the show. Really good today. Thank you so very much for being with us.